Hey there folks, Cozzy here for Pick 1, Pack 1, and we are finishing Jekk's bounty on a budget today. This is mission number 16, just business, and I have a pair of sweet decks that you can consider running through to get yourself your copy of Jekk, the Bounty Hunter. So let's get straight into things. The games could take a little bit longer because I've purposely added on an extra little bit of a challenge for me, so we may need one or two attempts in order to get through. The first deck finishing off is Felnscar, not quite your ordinary Felnscar. Normally, as I said in previous videos, when you're running Felnscar, it's for the mythic units that you can get access to. For me, it's to get access to two particular cards that play a very important function up against Jekk. The cards are Rune and Furnace Mage. Why do I want these cards so much? Well, when you go up against Jekk, he starts off with his revolver, which is a 2/6 Warcry weapon that keeps attacking you each turn and beefing up whatever unit or indeed even piece of equipment is on top of his deck. If I can destroy that attachment as quickly as possible, ideally turn one on Ruin, then what happens is the weapon is broken straight away. Jekk says something about no longer playing fair anymore, you know, ha ha ha, irony, you weren't playing fair to begin with, and he stuns all of your units on the battlefield and then casts two Wanted Criminals of his own. The Wanted Criminals are fine, we can deal with them. The bit that's normally nasty is if you can destroy the equipment using your units, then when he stuns your units, you lose an awful lot of tempo. So if we can do it with these spells, ideally on turn 1, then we're in an amazing position because we can then continue on. And once we've wiped up the criminals, we're then all of a sudden on an even playing field once again. So once we're on the even playing field after using either our Ruin or our Furnace Mage, what is it that we want to do? Well, we want to first of all Lightning Storm those Wanted Criminals, or we want to kill them with all of our usual Feln Control ways. Have a couple of less Permafrost than usual, just because they have a fair few number of units with Endurance, and then besides that, Suffocate, Annihilate. Vara's Favor doesn't work super well, but it helps us down the ramp, which is why we're short one, and Deathstrike. It's basically because space is being taken up from what is ordinarily removal to actually enact our game plan. Then we have our usual unit to try and help our card draw with Tundra Explorer, and the pair of rares that I've chosen to dedicate in this deck are basically cheap creatures that have higher health than 2, but also play a role for us. So I'm grabbing Argenport Instigators and Feln Bloodcasters. If he can't profitably attack in, he doesn't attack, he doesn't get the Warcry trigger, and that's enough for me. We also have Quarry that we earned earlier to give ourselves a bit of extra card draw alongside Wisdom of the Elders. Quarry is particularly nice here because if you happen to draw a rune, you can hold it up for 0. And don't worry about having too many copies of Attachment Hate. Jekk runs a lot of different attachments, so I'm pretty sure we'll find a purpose for them. And Seek Power is pretty essential here because we're running a relatively greedy color base. We're hoping for red on turn 1. We're hoping for blue and double black on turn 3. We want double red on turn 4, so Seek Power helps out a bit for that. And then just for an extra challenge, I decided to see if I could beat the end boss using not a single rare. And so I've decided to look in the Praxis colors. The reason why is because Praxis has all of the spells or units that can destroy an attachment upon entering the battlefield. We have Ruin, we have Furnace Mage, and we also have Decay. And Decay is nice because it helps me gain a little bit of life. So what else are we going to use? Well, we have some interaction for their units. Flame Blast can also be a finisher for us, and then we go back to what I said before. I want a whole bunch of units that have a health higher than 2, so I want Bold Adventurers. Ageless Mentor actually plays a decent role in this deck. Amber Acolytes to make sure I can get either color that I need. Determined Strangers look like a 2/2, but they actually become a 3/3, and Tower Top Patrols to slow things down, with Lumen Defender playing a pretty important role. Gaining the 5 life is quite helpful, because if they can't target one of your creatures, they're going to be targeting your face with the damage, and so being able to gain a little bit of life is helpful. And because we're so budget basement, that's the reason why the combat trick that I've decided to include is Refresh. Being able to give myself or a unit 4 health allows it to survive a lot of combat. Don't get me wrong, I don't like this card. I feel icky if I have to play it in ranks, but for this particular mission I think it works. And so we've also chosen to use a couple of Amber Monuments to try and go the absolute bargain basement approach to taking down Jekk once and for all. Of course, if you weren't setting yourself a challenge like I am, you'd be running things like any other kind of better ramp spell, or things that beef up. So something like your Praxis Obelisk, is it? That gives everything +1/+1 and then +2/+2 when you get to 8. A whole bunch of better options, but this was because of my self-imposed challenge, just to see if I could and to have a little bit of fun running with it. I was a little bit underwhelmed the first time I played against Jekk because I won on my first try, so I didn't have much of a chance to see out different angles. The Lightning Storm is nice, but I don't have anything to get rid of the weapon. I don't have any creatures, so even though I have the power that I want, I'm going to be shipping this one back. And this one's a lot better, purely because I have an Argenport Instigator. Still not great yet, still not great at all, but adequate. It means I'll just have one hit in against me with this weapon. And then after that, we want to try and get our second Primal so I can get my Wisdom of the Elders on. Quarry's a good draw, but I want to be playing my Argenport Instigator first so he doesn't get that additional Warcry. But Quarry's very much what I think I'll be doing next turn. Actually, I think I'll be killing this first. Just playing it safe. If we're lucky, we may even be able to kill my opponent just by attacking in, and we didn't need those spells at all. And if that's the case, we can start focusing on other things for our Quarry. So this is where a human opponent would have attacked in because they weren't going to be taking damage against me. I have a choice. I can either use my Seat of Cunning to get up Wisdom of the Elders. I could use Quarry right now and see if I get anything that costs 3 or less to be able to follow up with, or I could cast my Feln Bloodcaster. Feln Bloodcaster has the highest possibility of popping this, but then it also does mean that it'll get stunned and I think also silenced, which is something that I really don't want to do. I think what we'll do is Quarry actually works better for me than Wisdom. This isn't a great one for me, but we'll take the Suffocate just because I know that once I get rid of this weapon, I'll be up against some units that I'll be able to kill with the Suffocate. And this isn't a fast spell, so we'll use it now. Yeah, I'll only get one hit in, but if I have to choose which unit is going to get silenced, I'd much rather it be a Puma than my Bloodcaster. This is funny. Do I want to use the Ruin right now just to destroy this? It's only got one more left. I'll tell you what, let's see what else we can get that might help me out. Because they do have spells that I certainly am concerned about. Yeah, no, let's just do it now. There's no point in messing around. We want to move on to the next stage of the game. And next turn we can either play both Feln Bloodcasters or hold up a Deathstrike. Yeah, so it does silence it as well when he has that effect. So the things that we need to worry about now, he has some pretty nasty equipment. Things like Deep Forge Plate could be a problem for me. He has Hellfire Rifle as well. Other than that, most of the removal isn't going to hit my powerful guys. That's not a bad draw at all. If we're to Lightning Storm, we'll get to draw 2 cards at least, which is better than what I can get just by paying 7. We can still attack in, I guess, with the Puma. Actually, we could attack him with all if we were so inclined. Yeah, okay. Let's see what else we get first. If we're really lucky, we'll get a Vara's Favor and we can use that to kill him. Okay, so it's not perfect, but it's still not bad. Am I happy to offer up the trade? Not really. Let's attack in this way. And this is now, I feel as though I'm very much in the box seat. He might get one more attack in by turning that into a quick draw. If he does, I'll just chump with my 0-3. That'll be fine by me. And I'm happy doing extra damage with the Instigator. Do I want to play the other Bloodcaster? Sure. I know that he doesn't have Harsh Rule in his list, so I don't need to play around that. The more units I have, the more I diversify things like this Brazen Daredevil effect. So we're very quickly thinning out the deck. That's unfortunate for my opponent. I don't think he's long for the world. And so there you have it. We didn't see equipment hate until late, but we were still quite comfortable. Actually, that does an extra damage to me. I don't feel like taking extra damage when I don't need to. Shame this hasn't got lifesteal anymore. That'd be fun to put the Deep Forge plate on. Put it on whoever, it doesn't matter. And there you have it. So yeah, having slightly bigger than 2 health bodies, a little bit of equipment hate, it's just about all you need. Let's try and do this though on the absolute most budget of budgets and see if we can get away with this with no res whatsoever. For this particular deck, it's really important to see that first turn. A piece of attachment hate in your hand. That'll allow me... I don't have anything to play until turn 3, which is unfortunate. I don't want to take the risk of missing out on my turn 3 or a 2-drop if I happen to draw one. So we're not going to get cutesy with that monument. Unfortunately, they're going to get 3 hits in, which is a lot. Oh no, 2. I can play the Determined Strange if I want instead of the Amber Acolyte, which I think is what I might do. Alright, so I've been lucky they haven't played anything that's terribly problematic. If they were to follow up with Volcano Outlaw or something like that, then that could have made life a lot more uncomfortable for me. Do I want to kill the Brazen Daredevil? I think I do. It's got a 50-50 chance of killing my unit whilst it's down, which are not odds that I'm happy to try and play around. Do we want to play the second Determined Stranger? No, I think we just wait. I'd rather bring it down later on to bring this back up to a 3 health unit so I can try and play around their damage. See whether you're willing. So whatever I play is going to get silenced and stunned, so I'll play something that I don't mind getting silenced too much. So our next goal is to kill these. Once we can kill these, we should be okay. I want to make sure I can get this Furnace Mage online, which is why I'm taking the risk of them having removal for the Amber Acolyte. deal with the one that does the most damage to me. Now we'll have our defenses back, so I'll feel a lot more comfortable soon. Although this is a pretty wide board and just a little bit scary. We're obviously not attacking, we need to sit back. What we'll be able to do is... They definitely have a trick of some description. See what they choose to do. Looks as though they don't have anything to harm me here. It'll only happen after combat, which I'm happy enough making that exchange. I probably made a mistake. I probably should have changed around the blocks that I was going to do there. Am I in a strong enough position to attack yet? I need to start attacking soon. That's for sure. I do think I can afford to play this turn. Normally I like to slow roll my Furnace Mage, but given that I've got Decay in hand, unless they have exactly Deep Forge Plate on the top card of their library, then I should be okay. So yeah, let's get that first attack in. They could be sitting on cards like Vanquish, which could be a problem for my Furnace Mage. Otherwise, it's likely the spell that stuns. Okay, nice, that's a Vanquish. That's not good news for me, actually. Ooh, that's particularly bad news with them having the charge unit. So we're going down to 4. Okay, so that was a bad attack for me. Very bad attack decision. In a weird way, I'm kind of hoping that they play a piece of equipment so I can gain some life. So, if I'm to kill this, that does allow me to attack in with one of my units. And I do need to think about starting to turn this game around, so... On 4 health, all it takes is for them to draw a pair of those Outland snipers or anything really, and I'm dead, so I think I do want to start getting aggressive as soon as possible. Here I think I'd rather take the opportunity to draw another card, even though this is a better unit, just because again I'm focusing on trying to play quickly, and that's a fantastic, fantastic draw. I think that allows me to be able to attack with 2 units now. Getting up to 9 has me a lot more comfortable. If they're to draw a Deep Forge Plate, it'll turn into a 7/7. So now that they haven't done it, I can keep up the decay every turn I want. And I think I can just about close the door on this because we've got them on a 3-turn clock. Yeah, it's definitely helped me that they flooded out like crazy. I'm not sure just how many power is in Jekks. I've noticed that it's flooded a couple of times I've played against them. Yes, I can gain some life. That's the little things in life. So there you have it, folks. So ends the Jekk's Bounty campaign. It's been a bit of a while. It's small break in between the episodes, although I'm sure for you they were quite short. I hope that one of the things you've been able to take out of this is how to construct a deck with an opponent in mind, which I think is exactly what they want to try and scaffold with campaigns like this, which is really what deck building is all about, except for the fact that you need to accommodate for 4 or 5 opponents rather than just one. The Just Business deck doesn't have great cards in it at all, but they work for a plan, and a plan against what I know my opponent's trying to do. You know, I did sit down and write a list of the cards that I saw for the couple of playthroughs just to get my head around it, and then try and pick what I thought was the best strategy against it. And you don't need a lot of cash to do that. All you need to do is to spend a little bit of time to sit down and have a think. So I hope that this has demonstrated some of that. I hope that this has been an enjoyable series for you. Please feel free to leave your comments, your criticisms, whatever have you. I appreciate reading it all. And if you have enjoyed this, feel free to check out our other stuff on Pick 1 Pack 1. We are primarily a limited website. This is not what we usually do. We normally run drafts and draft videos, and if that's what you enjoy and you like, trying to make the most of the coins that you earn in Eternal so you can make as much Shiftstone as possible and get those better cards so you can start to play your more Tier 2, Tier 1 decks, then feel free to take a look and see what our main content is. Till then, I've been Cozzy. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you sometime later.